be going into the late game is just how they're going to be able to execute up against a team that against LGD that knows how to defend their high ground like your typical Chinese juggernaut.
Oh,
And we're going in deep on the Razor. MMY going in.
Bottle. It's looking. Oh, okay, we hook shot though. Where is some backup? The A is coming in. Not sure if that's going to be exactly who you want to slay. Oh, but the Ice Blast. Will it land? Goodbye, ROTK. Boom.
Not on. Hey, Roland. Thank you. Welcome back. Yeah, apologies for the internet issues, guys. We're going to try and fix it over the break, but can't really do it in the middle of the game, so do appreciate your patience.
Sylar, he's stalking his victims. There's going to be a charge. Will he find a way out? Oh, a really nice spin. The sounds of it. Sylar is stuck up on the high ground. Oh, no. Well played. Maybe. Oh, not quite. Not quite.
What a disaster. Pouncing up to the cliff.
Is some of that, do you think, the changes? You know how they're like slightly different boxes for how you end up on high ground or low ground?
Yeah, there's
now?
some little nooks and crannies that you used to be able to run into and like jump over. I was playing Faceless Void earlier today, and the shortened time walk distance.
Yeah.
There were so many times I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to this spot and I can time walk uphill, and I just missed it.
Yeah.
And it was really embarrassing. I'm sure I've talked about this earlier. Like, there's some changes that, like, as an old player, as a player that's been around for multiple patches, like having really like crazy changes to items and heroes and map terrain, it's probably harder on you than just about anybody else because you've spent so much time on a map that feels a certain way. You've spent so much time with an item that does a certain thing, with a hero that does a certain thing. To have them change so dramatically and have it so recently, like, it's harder for you to adjust than someone that's a bit more fresh to the game.
Tough for an old dog to learn new tricks.
It is. It really is. Like, I see, like, sometimes really experienced players will have some like slight mistakes on like some really recent changes on heroes and stuff. I think it's just a lot harder for them to just grasp new changes because
it's just
so many different versions.
Well, and I will say, like, as someone who's played Dota on and off for like the better part of like 8 to 10 years, they've been adding a lot of new items recently and having sweeping balance changes, like way more. There were years where like there were relatively few, but here we go. Big rush fight breaking out. Sylar gonna run in towards the pit, and now is forced to walk away rather quickly with the ultimate. He's out of the picture. Juggernaut leaping forward, trying to get the job done. Can't quite isolate or lock Sylar down fully, and now has to back up the Laguna, looking to turn this one on the Juggernaut. Meanwhile, Static Storm, Kinetic Field, catching absolutely nothing. RTK just running in circles, trying to finish the Jug. Can he get the last hit? The Disruptor assisting him all over the place, these guys are. But key thing is Sylar has not died. They've used their combo on the side of IG, and now Sylar can start to do work. Jumping in again. He's got the Ion Shell going heavy damage. Turning onto the Night Stalker, getting way too many stacks out for the Essence Shift, and should be able to get this additional kill unless there's some crazy jukes. Earn says no, and that will be the end of the Night Stalker. 4 down, a complete train wreck of a fight for LGD.
How low is the rush on there? Because it felt like...
It was pretty high.
Okay, maybe they should have just backed. The clock did a really good job of making sure the dogs here couldn't come in and drop a nice vacuum wall in the pit, and maybe you just say, hey, we don't fight here because stuff's rough, but Sylar getting exactly what I want to say. As you said, he got something like 17 stacks of Essence Shift and looking
It was
pretty.
as soon as the Ice Blast missed that there were real problems, because this is an Axe AA now, so that would have taken Sylar completely out of the fight. Not necessarily killed him, but he would not be participating whatsoever. And LGD are actually on the run because they don't have damage other than the Lina. But the Ice Blast fell short, and as soon as that happened, it was very clear that LGD were going to be able to bring it back over the course of the 20-second period. The Shadow Dance is just such a good passive, and the Juggernaut was quickly running out of steam. Still got the Omni out, but didn't get enough, and actually gets almost right-clicked down by Disruptor and a Darkseer. A really weird, awkward situation since they can't do any magical damage, but maybe with the extended range on that Dragon Slave, is able to clean it up.
Also, I don't think we caught it with the Observer during the fight, but it looked like Jug blinked down to Omni the Slark, who I believe might have had a pounce up or something. So it just shows the matchup. Like, that's just so... If you don't actually have someone to hold the Slark in position, killing him is almost impossible as Jug.
The Omni Slash there was super underwhelming.
I think you have to use it to kill other heroes, and then you might not be able to kill the Slark, but then he has to run away at the very least if you've got 4 or 5 alive.
I thought that was the point of the blink. I thought the whole play was you blink in, and then you Omni either the Disruptor or the Darkseer, the two that can't really easily get away, versus someone like the Spirit Breaker or the Slark or, Yule's Up on Lina.
Oh, we're down again.
We're down again,
Okay.
for sure.
Just
Sorry.
no, so good. Look at that, Scotty. It's so blue.
Yeah, we're gonna try to swap it once the game's over, but Can't really do it in the middle, unfortunately.
What swap it means? Sorry.
So we're swapping the.
They have multiple
router.
ISP
Multiple
lines.
Oh, nice. Oh.
Oh, we're
oh,
back.
oh,
Okay,
oh.
maybe we.
Oh,
aren't
no, what
fully
if they-
disconnected.
Maybe we spoke too soon.
Well, I hope nobody heard those great discussions about cats. Yeah. So he did go for the full guarding grooves. I wasn't sure if he'd maybe go for. Obviously, you kind of need the inventory slot, but I was thinking maybe he might skip over it for Shivas just because there is an AA. But of course, for the people who aren't hit, the regen and armor is really nice here. Because it's physical damage coming out of Razor and Jug, of course. So.
Yeah, it's great. The cooldown reduction, I think, is really important. The mechanism is such a long cooldown by comparison to the Guardian Greaves, and being able to, between each Ice Blast, use a Guardian Greaves, I think that's really valuable. Obviously, the question was originally whether he even bothers with the mech against the AA. He got it out really fast. He's gotten some good use out of it, and now with the cooldown reduction of the Guardian Greaves, he should be able to sustain the push in between those AA ultis.
IGV good presence of mind, realizing that smoke's probably coming, but at the same time, by kind of showing the smoke and like having it be relatively obvious, they're able to just get that tier 2 top for Sylar pretty easily. I think LGD
Razor's
is
really
definitely
fallen
in
off
control of
this game.
Yeah, LGD is really in control of this game now after some really good team fights.
That I felt like IGV really needed something to happen with that top fight on the tier 3 Radiant. Like if they are actually able to outplay LGD, find a pick on the Slark and move forward from there, they could absolutely be in control of this game. But since then, it's just been downhill.
Oh,
Sylar
they're
going in.
Yeah, they're opening up on why. Look at that Laguna Blade. Will they hit anybody? They do actually get the debuff onto the Slog, but it's looking like V very low, ends up going down to the Spirit Breaker, and this Omni Slash again, maybe not doing everything that they want. Lena's blown up. Will they find more? The AA debuff, it's still on Slog, but not
He
for
doesn't care.
long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sylar's absolutely fine here. Still has that second life, I believe.
Oh,
the Glimpse
no.
comes back, trying to isolate the Juggernaut. They will manage to
Oh,
catch
they
him,
got him?
with the pounce. The follow-up is there. The man fight breaking out. Sylar barely able to live, but had the second life anyway. Debuff has worn off. And, this is the stage of the game where the AA Ice Blast, in theory, is a bit scary for Slark, but when he has that much health and they can't hit him during the fight, who cares if you can't regen? He doesn't need to. He's not taking damage.
Yeah. Feeling like they missed their window, and just as you said, the Razor obviously has had a hard time, has been picked up a few times, so is almost equivalent to the Darkseer in net worth, but just maybe not making enough happen.
Yeah, this is the big thing for IGV is they're growing, learning as a team, coming from a team that's full of really talented, just inherently strong players, but they got to learn how to translate these early game victories into late game wins.
And like you said, great learning opportunity. I do think, just looking at the draft, though, we questioned the Slark pick not as a hero, but more was it suitable for Sylar and the way the team wants to play. But it was a great Slark pick.
Right.
I know it's something we discussed early on. That has proven to be the case. Nice hook there, though. They're going to try and hold the base. Not ready to give up just yet.
no!
May end up going down anyway. He's ever so low, just
So
barely scurrying away so goddamn fast. Going for the backup onto the cliff. Not going to get it, but MMY charges back in, turning with another strike onto the Ancient Apparition, trying to keep him out of the pictures. The Razor's ultimate goes to work. Man fighting his way through the clock. They can't get Sylar down. Finish that little bastard. They will kill him once, but now they got to deal with him a second time. MMY looks like he's ready to go again momentarily. Back into the fight, maybe. Laguna. Oh, God. That's going to leave a mark. And now Sylar onto the range Drax. And with that, it should be possibly more. They've got another. Ancient Apparition down. 3 have fallen. And it seems
It's actually
IGV
a really big pick.
are
Like,
gonna
that
be
guarantees
thwarted
the
here.
win.
Yeah, GG's probably going to be coming out shortly. But as you said, good time to practice, and they're not out. This is 2 teams get through, and there is a lower bracket. So even if they're not...
Only game 1, but it does feel like LGD is maybe just slightly ahead of IGV in terms
They
of
shouldn't even
execution.
be here. They should be already in Shanghai.
Oh, okay, so we're going to have an
call.
Ice Blast onto Sylar, looking like it's those death throws. Can they find anything? The Jug does have the Omni, but he'd have to get up close and personal. He could blink behind and just get the kill, but of course leaves him in an awful position. So, so you're a big LGD fan? That's what I'm hearing,
Not
Brian?
a fan. I feel like
Whoa,
I
not a
could be
fan?
objective and feel like LGD was deserving of an invite.
But by all the metrics, we know that CDEC has been outperforming LGD in every tournament that they're both in.
I don't care about
So
CDEC.
what it really comes down to
Oh,
is
CDEC was an auto.
you feel like there should be more direct invites, and that means you're taking one away from maybe SEA or NA.
You take it away from Alliance.
Okay, I was going to...
Okay.
Yeah. Well, said that. Yeah, it's something that there was definitely a really...
Dan's game.
There were a lot of discussions, I think, on whether it should have been LGD or Liquid or something, like exactly who should have been invited. And it'll be interesting, looking like LGD's in a good position.
I
in this
am so
qualifier.
hyped to see LGD and Alliance play each other.
Cannot wait.
Just think of the Reddit threads if LGD like convincingly 2-0s them in the group stage.
I'm just sitting here going, I don't remember any history there, but I'll trust LD. And LD's like, I'm in it for Reddit.
I'm in it for the memes, guys. Let's be serious.
That wasn't
here.
obvious enough already.
What do you
Oh,
post
here
for
comes
LGD? What's the face? Is it? Oh,
Just
okay.
a jar
Ming
of
Lee,
hot sauce.
come on.
It's not Bingley. Nobody. Okay, we're gonna be seeing people go down. That's gonna be an A plus, but it's a little too late here. Does get off a couple Omni slashes on people. Gonna try to use the spin. Gets out of the kinetic field. Can they finally take out Sylar? He's going to shatter there. Really long time on that, but at the same time, Jug is gone. It's looking like Clockwork soon to follow. V in a lot of trouble. Boom.
I mean, they got Alita too, by the way. I mean, quietly is the
Surprise.
highest in terms of net worth. Maybe cleaning up IG and taking out the trash, and they're just going to accept it. That's GG. We are headed to a game 2 with LGD, to no big surprise, leading 1-0. But IGV, they had their moments. They, again, had a great start in the early game. That has been a hallmark for this team and all the games that we've cast today. But closing out LGD is a much taller order.
I think it's exactly what you said. They had actually at one point, they had quite a bit. They were acquiring a lead, and it feels like they're not sure how to translate that in. Maybe that's problems with their draft didn't have as easy push lineup as some other teams where you can capitalize, but I think just